Part 91. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 931. Trainers who are preparing to explore the deep-sea secret realm must put their own safety first. If you encounter difficulty breathing on the seabed, you must choose to leave the deep-sea secret realm. Our Chinese deep-sea rescue team, the first, we will immediately carry out rescue operations around the secret realm when you need us. This time, our Chinese water elf gym leader Fang Lian will use all of his water elf gym level elves to perform rescue work in the deep sea. Similarly, I will work with my dragon elves to help everyone at the bottom of the sea. Build a solid backing. If you encounter danger at the bottom of the sea, under the premise of ensuring your own safety, don't panic too much. Be confident that behind you, there is another strong motherland. We are around the secret realm, waiting for your triumphant return. Set off. Under the order of Xiazhepeng, the Chinese dragon envoy, nearly 100 trainers who had at least elite-level water elves and elite-level super elves jumped into the ocean together. This blue sea holds the blue dreams of countless trainers. It's a pity that you don't have the courage to explore in the ocean. Strength is the most important part. Professor Yang Yu, you must return safely. Rich Professor, you must pay attention to your safety. Assistant Coach Wang Kaizhu, you must talk less. Wang Kaizhu. Who the hell just spoke? Stand up and I promise not to curse you to death. Not all trainers who come will eventually be able to enter the deep sea. Whether it is due to elves or personal physical factors, no one dares to object. If we wanted to explore the secret realm together, why didn't we work harder in the first place? At this time, if you insist on entering the deep sea, you will undoubtedly be seeking death. At this point, they can only stay away. Teams of trainers entered the sea in batches. Such a spectacular scene made people's hearts surge as much as the level of the sea. Especially the words of Xiazhepeng, the messenger of the Chinese dragon, made the trainers who were preparing to explore the secret realm, their hearts were moved. That's right. Behind this vanguard team led by Huigulang envoy Xiazhepeng, there is also a maritime military camp escort team, which is rushing towards the secret high sea area. At this time, directly in front of the team, a large stinging jellyfish looked like it had picked up someone's feet and stepped on a hot wheel on the sea level, leaving an extremely turbulent outline of waves on the sea surface. Just behind the stinging jellyfish, there is also a huge blue-white figure. Following the direction of the stinging jellyfish, it flaps up and down like a hot wheel, speeding across the water. This is the 1st Battalion of the South China Sea Guards. This is the 1st Battalion of the South China Sea Guards. I am the battalion commander Gao Mao. We have entered the waters of the central island of the world. At this moment, we are rushing to the secret realm of the high seas. We are rushing to the secret realm of the high seas. Gao Mao leaned forward against the raging Kirby beast, and the smell of hot sweat mixed with sea water still could not stop their determination to go to the secret high seas. Boss Gao, a group of dragons appeared in front. The direction they are going in seems to be the same as ours. I wonder if they are going to the high seas in the secret realm. Gao Mao's dark and chubby face showed a set of big white teeth, which were shining brightly in the sun. Brothers, let's take out some energy cubes. With the help of Chenglong, our speed can be even faster. One chip. At this moment, this team, fearless of wind and rain on the sea, once again suddenly increased its speed. Brother, that sister Beihuing, why didn't she follow? Yang Xiao was holding the purple fat Gengui tightly in his arms at the moment. This soft and fat Gengui could guide Yang Xiao when he dived into the bottom of the sea. Come have some security. She returned to the place where she was a trainer in Sakura country to meet some friends. This time she will explore the secret realm. We will meet up in the secret realm. When we find the secret realm, we will be able to see her, Yang Yu said simply. We haven't yet reached the secret area. Dragon messenger Xiazhepeng is on the back of his fast dragon, and together with Fang Lian, the leader of the water gymnasium, he is escorting this team in the early stages. The powerful water elves of Fang Lian Hall, whether it is Gotha Duck, Emperor Nebo, or Dia Sea Lion, etc., the protection of these elves around them has brought a huge sense of security to the hearts of many trainers. Not everyone has the experience of diving into the deep sea like Yang Yu, and not everyone has encountered crises and dangers in the sea like Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian. This time, the training families who came to explore the deep sea included many experts in ocean elf research who were in their 40s and 50s. They had rich experience in exploring the secret seabed. For young students with less experience, it's a great learning opportunity. Don't be too nervous. You must keep a clear mind when exploring the secret seabed. Among the currently known dangerous elves on the seabed, the group of megalodon sharks is the most important thing for trainers to explore in the deep sea secret. The elves are extremely dangerous. In addition, please don't anger other elves, even the weak tench. Although weak tench are weak alone in the deep sea, once they gather into a school of fish, they are also known as deep sea monsters in the elven world. One of the most important principles in exploring the deep sea secrets is to control yourself. Don't touch everything out of curiosity. Also note that if you want to help your companions who may be in danger, you must ensure that if you are not sure about your safety, you can ask a powerful and reliable trainer to take action. There is no doubt that when these trainers and experts who are exploring and researching in the secret ocean reminded everyone of this, even the passerby trainers from other provinces in the country had a name popping up in their minds. Yang Yu. In the deep sea, Yang Yu should be the most powerful trainer they can rely on. Whether it's the giant Gyarados or another Gyarados, whether it's the Slow King who was once rumored to be promoted to the Heavenly King level, and similarly, there's that water elf with a beautiful legend in the elf world. Minas. Other trainers are just like a powerful water elf. Yang Yu is different. The water elves around Yang Yu are, without exception, extremely powerful. Mifu. 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 The Hakran returned to the sea, the silly appearance of the dragon swimming freely in the sea, and the row of elves playing together on the Hakran. Such a picture subconsciously made other trainers ignore this. Only elf. This Hakasaurus looks a little unreliable. But, regardless of whether it is reliable or not, at least this Hakran is Yang Yu's elf and has such an identity. If nothing else, just 2 words, reliable. As they dive deeper and deeper under the sea, many young trainers have begun to feel a little frightened. Such endless darkness without a shred of light is like diving into an abyss. Continue to dive in this area. The flash spell lit by the superpower elves should not be too bright. Whether it is for the marine ecological environment or factors such as the possibility of attracting megalodon sharks, it is only a weak purple ghost. Colored light does not bring a sense of security to the trainer. Everyone, if you feel unwell, don't force yourself. We can return to the sea level together later. Compared with elven resources and your own face, your own life safety is still more important. The voice of Dragon Messenger Xiazhepeng made everyone feel a little at ease at this moment. Several young trainers are really unable to bear the darkness and have already decided to leave. After all, the deeper you go to the deep sea, the greater the risk factor. The darkness alone is enough to make people feel dizzy, not to mention wait until you explore the secret place. Xiao Yu, are you scared? Yang Yu asked lightly. For him, after experiencing so much, whether it was in the secret realm of the Dragon Palace in the East China Sea or the battle royale with the Overlord Megalodon in the deep sea, this situation now was nothing more than a child's play. With brother Yang Yu here, with Dede Wang Dada and Salted Fish King Dada with me, and my Jengar, Gardevoir and Magic Wall doll are all by my side, of course I won't be afraid anymore. The difficult life in the past may have been darker than the scene before us now. After the difficult life has passed, what does the mere darkness of the deep sea count? Not to mention, Yang Xiao is accompanied by brother Yang Yu and the elves. Fear. That was before. Yang Xiao reached out and brushed the hair on his forehead, feeling the touchable birthmark. She has decided that if she wants to work hard to become a superpower, she should not continue to be as timid as before on the path of being a trainer. Life is always something you have to face. GGG. Gengui looked back in Yang Xiao's direction, and patted Yang Xiao's shoulder with his chubby hand. With him around, Yang Xiao doesn't have to be afraid no matter where he goes. Including, that secret dark world. The team that continued to dive suddenly stopped for a moment. Why, have you reached the secret realm so quickly? Someone in the crowd said in surprise. No, there are a few roaring whale kings in front of us. We need to be careful to avoid unnecessary trouble with them, Fang Lian said. Oh dash. In the deep sea, the ancient and dull whale call sounded. At this moment, everyone's ears seemed to be echoing with an ethereal sound, and at the same time, there seemed to be a cold feeling of falling into the abyss in their hearts. Roaring king whale. Huge figures, one after another, were quickly passing by the crowd at this moment. Poppy, Poppy. Tijapai's little eyes flickered in the darkness of the deep sea. Hey, this roaring whale king, looks a bit familiar. Oh. One of these roaring whale kings looked back with some confusion. But in the darkness, the roaring whale king couldn't tell which direction the strange feeling came from. Q. The little dream monster and Mimikyu on the back of Hakran looked at Tijapai in confusion along with Hakran. Tijapai stretched out his hand and made gestures, as if he were playing basketball. Bayu bayu bayu. That's the end, that's the end. The center island of the world, the roaring whale king in front of the ancient Skycanthus and Tijapai at the mouth of the sea. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 932. In the deep sea. Although it is full of darkness and unknown dangers, it still has a mysterious charm that makes people get lost and intoxicated. Documentaries about the exploration of ocean elves can be seen on TV stations or online video platforms around the world. The deep sea recorded in these documentaries has filled countless trainers with yearning, and even influenced generations of young people. Ocean Adventure Trainer. The phantom of the howling whale king was seen with their own eyes on the bottom of the sea. For the young trainers who dived into the deep sea for the first time to explore, they were frightened and their hearts were filled with ups and downs. In the end, it became turbulent. This is a place they have never been to before, and they finally have a personal experience, witnessing the charming underwater world on the mysterious seabed. Gradually, after diving into a section of water filled with darkness, you can vaguely see the light that continues to penetrate deeper into the bottom. These lights are very weak, but as the team continues to move forward, the source of these lights can gradually be discovered. Brother, it's a lanternfish. There was indescribable excitement in Yang Xiao's eyes. For her, this exploration of the secret realm has become a trip to the ocean park, which is even more wild than the ocean park in the city. At the same time, it is also more mysterious and full of expectations. Yes, it's lanternfish, and there are some evolved electric lamp monsters of lanternfish. Yang Yu nodded and smiled. These groups of lanternfish and electric lamp monsters seem to have found a place to recuperate and reproduce. They were quietly leaning on the hillside at the bottom of the ocean. At the same time, lights flashed from time to time, as well as warning signs. Mean. The swarms of lanternfish and electric lamp monsters are not elves to be trifled with. They can use powerful electric current moves on the seabed. Even the giant tooth shark, the bully of the sea, has to consider whether he is thick-skinned and thick-toned. The elf world has its own rules of operation. A single lanternfish is not scary, and is even quite weak, but when they unite into groups, everything is different. King Salted Fish, please don't disturb others. If these lanternfish lose the protection of electric power, they will become a delicious meal for other sea elves. Roar. The Salted Fish King glanced back at Yang Yu with disbelief. Is he that kind of salted fish? Well, actually it's true. After all, the salted fish king, who even dares to jerk off to lightning birds, has not experienced electrotherapy for a long time and feels uncomfortable all over. However, the power of these lanternfish and electric lamp monsters is estimated to be much lower than that of the Nanfu army of insect electric treasures, which are more powerful than each other. They are not greedy, not greedy, not greedy at all. The salted fish king secretly took a few more glances. With the illumination of these lanternfish and electric lamp monsters, it can be said that everyone can open their eyes and see more clearly the ocean world. On the hill on the seabed where the lanternfish is located, there are many corals and aquatic plants of various colors. When the exploration team continued to dive into the deep sea, they looked at the area where the lanternfish and the electric lamp monster were from a different angle. The charm of the deep sea has only just been revealed. This time, a group of giant fin flying fish passed by on the bottom of the sea. These giant fin flying fish looked like the deep sea as a blue sky. They spread their wings and seemed to be flying leisurely. It's true. The teacher said that there are iron cannon fish biting on the wings of the giant winged flying fish. Looking at it this way, what the teacher said is true. There really are iron cannon fish on the wings of the giant fin flying fish, haha. This is Yang Xiao's simple happiness. For her, it is really great to be able to broaden her horizons and see the novel world of elves. This time she came to North America and saw a lot she can show off with her friends when she goes back. Some giant fin flying fish have a lot of iron gunfish biting on both sides of their wings. They look like our kind of jet aircraft. Moreover, giant fin flying fish sometimes go out of the sea. These iron gunfish can also help giant fin flying fish. Winged flying fish glide through the air. Wu Yuqian, who is well informed, added from the side. Of course, it doesn't have to be a jet, it could also be a bomber. What's dropped is not a cannonball, but a cannon fish. Wan Kai's made a gesture. At this time, when these giant winged flying fish passed by the ocean area above Yang Yu and his party, something suddenly seemed to fall down. I don't know if an iron cannon fish was sleeping with the wings of a giant flying fish in its mouth, but it just fell off and dropped in front of Wu Yuqian and Wan Kai's. Iron cannon fish. Who am I, where am I, what am I doing? After waking up, Tai Beiyu stared at Wan Kai's with two big eyes in front of him. Wan Kai's also stared at Tai Beiyu with two big eyes. At the same time, the cursed doll sealed Wan Kai's mouth again. Wan Kai's. Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian paid close attention to the inexplicable falling iron gunfish, and immediately fixed their eyes on Wan Kai's. Lao Wan, you still said that you are not a cursed doll. What the hell is going on? This iron cannon fish will fall off if it falls. Where has iron cannon fish ever seen this situation before? Quickly, with a swish of tail, he was so frightened that he quickly fled from the crowd here, leaving Wan Kai's alone here to stare. It really looks like a cannonball, a cannonball, a cannonball, ha 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 ha. Brother Wan, your words are so effective. Yang Xiao was surprised and happy. Some scenes that are difficult to imagine by just relying on imagination were actually said directly by Wan Kai's. This is so amazing. People who don't know it think Wan Kai's is holding a script in his hand. Both the giant winged flying fish and the iron gunfish are acting in line with the script in Wan Kai's hand. Yang Yu and Wu Yuqian, who knew Lao Wan's abilities well, were very worried. What the hell is a good thing? This is clearly a curse. This shows what? This shows that even at the bottom of the deep sea, Wan Kai's mouth still has terrifying mysterious power. Lao Wan, I'm one of you, don't talk nonsense, let's go and harm others. Lao Wan, you can't belittle yourself, you are the real Thai. Wan Kai's. Not long after this episode passed, Xiaz Hepeng, the dragon envoy of Huaguo, and Fang Lian, the leader of the water gymnasium, both stopped at this moment. The atmosphere of the team condensed. Is it coming? Everyone, we are here. This depth is a safe limit given to us king-level trainers by the World Elf Alliance. As for the mysterious and unknown elven secret realm, it will be left to the trainers to explore next. If you encounter danger, please be aware that we are above you. We are not the only ones providing assistance here. Kings from other countries around the world are also here for joint rescue. Once again, I would like to remind everyone that you must ensure your own safety when exploring the secret realm. If you find that your companions are in danger, you must first ensure your own safety. At the same time, in addition to myself and the leader of the water gym Fang Lian, our rescue team from China is rushing over. We will maintain patrols and vigilance around the secret realm 24 hours a day to provide everyone with strong and reliable logistical security. Ensure. Xiao Zhepeng took a deep breath. Good luck to everyone. Yang Yu and his party took firm steps toward the deep sea mist of the secret realm. Cluck K. The Carp King army that first came to hide in the secret realm seemed to be ocean elves native to the deep sea, with their eyes glazed and clinging to the ground on the seabed, moving clumsily. In the past, there were many such magi carp living in the sea. It is not easy to disguise like this. When a low roar appeared in the ocean, the eyes of these dull-eyed magi carp suddenly became sharper at their original place. Their king is here. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiao. Chapter 933. If only Magikarp could shine. This was a thought that came to Yang Yu after he sat on the back of the Salted Fish King and broke through the deep-sea barrier in the Pacific Ocean. It's still too easy to be greedy. Yang Yu shook his head mockingly, and then thought of those lanternfish and electric lamp monsters before. Yang Yu thought before that if the Carp King could shine like a lanternfish, one by one would form visible lights on the ground of the seabed. This is really awesome. In the big movie about the world of elves, there is a bionic searchlight based on the elves that glow in the deep sea, such as lanternfish. After being launched at the bottom of the ocean, it can illuminate many areas on the bottom of the sea. Such tools actually exist in the real world, but once you do this, it will not be fun at all if it attracts a swarm of megalodon sharks. This clearly captures a person's trajectory. Isn't this just looking for death? As Yang Yu and his party got closer and closer to the ground at the bottom of the sea, everyone held their breath. In this deep sea, it seemed that they could only hear the sound of their own heartbeats. A puff of dust rippled across the ocean floor. Land safely. Is this the secret realm of the deep sea? Why doesn't it seem like there's anything special? A young student in the team couldn't help but ask. How can the exploration of the secret realm be so simple? If the secret realm is a ruins, then we are likely to be in the ruins. If there is a mysterious passage in the secret realm, then we need to find this passage. About 40 Chenkai, a 20-year-old secret realm research trainer, said. It's like exploring a new map in a game, another young student said with a smile and raised his hand. The crowd laughed softly. That being said, you must pay attention. Unless the super elves are particularly powerful, it is impossible to maintain a safe space for your superpowers. Therefore, you must cooperate with each other to ensure that the super elves have enough it's time to rest, otherwise, the water pressure of this deep sea will kill you. The game can be game over, but now, please note that you only have one life. Although everyone has special deep sea protective clothing as the last guarantee of safety, the most important thing is still the power of the super elves. Researcher Chen Kai's words gave many young trainers a chill, and the pleasant atmosphere immediately turned cold. There is no room for joking on matters like this. Don't be too nervous. It is expected that in 2 hours, our secret realm exploration medical team will go to the secret realm from the sea to provide support. Their main task is to help everyone quickly restore the physical strength of the super elves, and at the same time, let them, everyone has a time and space to relax. In short, in terms of exploring the secret realm, our Chinese Elf Alliance has a very deep foundation. During the exploration process, everyone must ensure that you are with your teammates. At this time, you are no longer alone. We are a small team, and only the power of the team can help you overcome your fears in this place. Of course, these powerful bosses, just pretend that I have never said this. The atmosphere that had just calmed down was now a little more relaxed. What researcher Chen Kai wants to remind is to maintain awe of the elf world, because in such an unknown and secret realm, no one is sure what will happen. Respect nature and life. Protect yourself while exploring, that's all. Xiao Yu, follow closely, let's continue walking in this direction. Okay, brother, I'm coming. Xiao Yu, Wang Yuqian, where are you two? Yang Yu remembered the instructions of brother Xia and senior sister Fang Lian and took good care of these two young female trainers while exploring the secret realm. Us. Xiao Yu and Wang Yuqian glanced at each other. Their elves could guarantee their basic safety in the deep sea. If Yang Yu had to take care of them, they themselves would definitely not be willing to accept it. Let's explore on our own for a while first, and then meet up with Professor Yang Yu to expand the search scope, Wang Yuqian said. Yang Yu nodded, okay, if you encounter any trouble, just use your superpower to contact us. Yang Yu naturally believed that Xiao Yu and Wang Yuqian had this ability. When entering the seabed, Yang Yu saw with his own eyes that brother Xia secretly stuffed two miniature elf balls into Xiao Yu's hands. Although Yang Yu didn't know what kind of elf was inside, there was no doubt that it is an elf used to protect Xiao Yu in times of crisis. Xiao Yu already had it, but Yang Yu didn't believe that Wang Yuqian didn't have the trump card given by Grandma Lin or senior sister Fang Lian. This is a spirit that should only be used as a last resort. Compared with some rigid rules, the trainer's life is the most important thing. Although Yang Yu didn't know the specific number of the Carp King's army lurking in this secret realm, it should at least be used to follow the trainers who were traveling with him. If he finds that there is a possibility of encountering danger, Yang Yu can learn the specific location through the feedback from Carp King and go to provide support at the same time. Every time, Magikarp's army never disappoints. Yang Yu couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Grrrrrrrr. Dede nodded beside him in agreement. Of course, neither will you, Dedu. Grrrrrrrr. Dada happily tapped his toes and waved his arms in a strong motion. Dede is very reliable. Yang Yu, Lao Wan, and I will go ahead and explore. See you then. Yang Yu, see you then. Wu Yuqian and Wan Kai's, whose respective super elves, Dream-Inducing Taper and Gardevoir, are both at the gym level. They can ensure that while one super elf is protecting, the other super elf has the ability to take action against danger. I never thought there would come a day when I would willingly sit on a gem starfish. Wan Kai's, who couldn't help but complain. When the elite gem starfish appeared, this one scratched its head with its other horn. If he were traveling on the sea level, Wan Kai's, who would have to get his crotch stuck in order to sit on the gem starfish. That feeling was simply extremely painful. It's different under the sea. The gem starfish lies flat with the red gem facing downwards. In this way, Wan Kai's, who can sit on the entire back of the gem starfish as easily as riding a flying saucer. That's really the pain of being tortured. Wu Yuqian couldn't help laughing. Yang Yu also smiled and shook his head. Yang Xiao didn't know why, but Yang Yu wouldn't tell her the answer. Wu Yuqian and Wan Kai's, who began their exploration on the bottom of the sea. Yang Yu will naturally not lag behind. The question he is thinking about now is whether to cheat or not to cheat. The control is always in your hands, it is up to you whether you can control it or not. However, it would be better to accompany Yang Xiao to experience the process of exploring the secret realm. If there is a place in this secret realm that seems more magical, King Carp will know about it. Once Carp King knows, it also means that Yang Yu can know. This is just like the saluting Carp King that I met in the MT Fuji secret realm. However, the size and quantity of the Carp King this time are far inferior to those in the MT Fuji MT secret realm. I don't know what kind of magical elf will appear in the deep sea secret realm this time. If that magical elf is really discovered by Carp King in advance, Yang Yu is really looking forward to it. Come out, Reggie Rock. Yang Yu was finally able to summon this rock god pillar openly. The core of Regiloc's wisdom itself existed in the deep sea when it was on the central island of the world. Now that we have come to this secret place in the deep sea, maybe it knows something. Cresselia, the god of dreams, who was in the shadow space next to Yang Xiao, couldn't help but stare when she saw the appearance of the rock god pillar. Is this thing Regiloc? Really Regiloc? It's really Regiloc? My eyes almost went blind. I almost didn't recognize him after I changed my vest. The reliberated Regirock now moved his muscles and regained his appearance as a small Regirock in the deep sea. Regirock, do you know this place? What secret realm is this? While Yang Yu was asking Regiloc, he was also asking Darkrai with his thoughts. However, how could Darkrai, who couldn't even find his way to his own Crescent Island, know where this place was? The world of elves has gone through 5,000 years of vicissitudes, and the place that was thousands of years ago has probably undergone tremendous changes now. However, for Regiloc, who had lived under the sea for a long time, this place was vaguely familiar. This is the Temple of the Sea. Where? Using your human history, the name of the sea temple, Atlantis. Yang Yu. Where, brother, did I hear you right? Yang Xiao's mood suddenly became extremely excited. Yeah, Atlantis. That, the Temple of the Sea in historical legends. Really? In the shadow space, Darkrai and Cresselia looked at each other from afar. I was equally surprised. Sea Temple. The Prince of the Sea, the elven secret realm of Manaphi. In the memories of Darkrai and Cresselia, shouldn't the Temple of the Sea be a symbol of grandeur and magnificence? Thousands of years ago, why would such a temple? Why did it become this ruin-like scene? What on earth happened here? Where's Manaphi? The orange light flashing in Regiloc's eyes gradually became serious. What we see may be an illusory appearance, or it may be a real scene. Perhaps this is a way for Manaphi to protect the Sea Temple. So, if you want to get rid of the illusion and see the real Sea Temple. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao glanced at each other. The answer is obvious. Looking for Manaphi. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 934. Brother, what does Manaphi look like? Do you have a picture of it? Where can we find it? When Yang Xiao heard that brother Yang Yu was going to take her to find the mysterious legendary elves in the secret realm of Atlantis, her heart beat uncontrollably with excitement. When we were in school, talking about the secret realm of elves, the secret realm of Atlantis hidden in the deep sea, had a deep meaning for students like Yang Xiao and others who were still in school to learn more about elves. Yearn for. This is an opportunity to experience a mysterious place in person, and it is also an opportunity to witness a miracle. In the elven world, if you meet Cresselia, the god of dreams, you are very likely to meet the legendary elf Manaphi in the unknown deep-sea secret realm of Atlantis. At this moment, what could make Yang Xiao more excited than witnessing a miracle with his own eyes? Manaphi. Yang Yu thought for a moment, then continued, most of its body is filled with water, and it has a round head and long tentacles on its head. I don't know how to describe it, anyway. Xiao, if you find an elf you don't recognize here, it should be Manaphi. Yang Xiao. It seems, that makes sense. Darkrai and Cresselia in the shadow space are a little strange, as if this human trainer has seen Manaphi, and even knows that it is full of water. Cresselia raised her head and looked at the sky in the shadow space. Could it be that this human trainer had met Mana Fei before? Reggie Locke's core of wisdom was not surprised. Whatever Yang Yu said could not shock Reggie Locke now. Just get used to it, get used to it. However, being able to attract the dream god Cresselia and the nightmare god Darkrai to combine with his own power has already made Reggie Locke's decision. No matter what happens to Yang Yu in the future, that's no big deal. On the night of the concert, Reggie Locke also felt the power of dreams. Brother, let's set off quickly and find Mana Fei, Mana Fei. Seeing Yang Xiao's eager look, Yang Yu shook his head, as if he was playing hide and seek as a child, but the bottom of the sea is so big. If he searches like a carpet, he doesn't know what year or month he should find. It's time to send out the Magi-Carp army. Well, it's time to activate the Magi-Carp army. The Carp Kings who came to this deep-sea secret realm in advance were like ordinary ocean elves that could no longer be ordinary in this area, penetrating early. Grrrrrrrr. Dede waved in the direction outside the super-protected space. The captain of the Carp King army who followed Yang Yu and Yang Xiao in advance instantly understood what Dede meant. This hidden line can be activated. Seeing that this was the only thing in the world, and even in the entire history of the elf world, that only one human trainer could do this, Reggie Locke's wisdom core fell into a state of despair for a while. Yang Yu, he went home again. It's really as King Dwight guessed. We really found the secret realm of Atlantis under the sea, even though he has experienced so many things, big and small, in this life. The North American Evil Gymnasium Lord Russell was still shocked by what he had witnessed. Yes, this elves' battleground buried in the deep sea, these huge pillars in all directions, and in this elves' battleground, there are broken statues. The ruins of Atlantis have been there almost since I was a child. Listening to such legends of the elf world, Eisen, the leader of the North American Super Gym, also looked a little distracted. Atlantis, the mysterious underwater secret realm, the ancient battlefield a long time ago. At this moment, the dim ruin scene in front of us is enough to bring people in the real world back to the dust of that period of history. King Dwight, he knows a lot. Elian, the grass-type gym leader, spoke slowly. The legends of the elf world in North America, the origin of the stories of the elf secret realm, etc., 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 these have been explored and passed down by trainers in North America in the last century. This secret realm should not be on the high seas, but should belong to the we own it all in North America. Russell clenched his fists, his words filled with deep evil thoughts towards trainers from other countries. Russell, calm down, we already have more secret information about the secret realm of Atlantis than trainers from other countries and regions. This is all prepared for us by King Dwight in advance. I declare that this is us North America's Atlantis undersea battlefield. Ha ha ha, this is true, but we cannot take it lightly. We must find the legendary elf hidden in the secret realm of Atlantis here. Even in the secret realm exploration team of the World Elf Alliance, our researchers speculate that there may be more than one legendary elf. The former water gym leader from China has been promoted to the Heavenly King level. It is really a blessing and a misfortune. If she has not become a Heavenly King level trainer, then we may have another powerful enemy in Atlantis. Hathaway, the leader of the North American Water Gym, said with deep fear in his voice. That Chinese trainer Yang Yu is also very annoying. If he doesn't serve as the water gym leader, why would he raise so many water elves? Eisen suddenly thought of that terrifying young trainer. In this mysterious deep-sea secret realm, especially the elven secret realm of the legendary Atlantis in North America, the owners of the North American elven gyms have absolutely the same interests in this regard. This secret realm is firmly in the hands of the North American side, and as for the others, wherever you come from, go back to where you came from. If I meet him here, I will have a good fight with him. Russell's eyes were uncertain. Everyone, we are temporarily separated and exploring in various directions in this secret realm. The information we currently have in our hands is the absolute basis for our advantage. Take one step first and lead everywhere. When the time comes, trainers from other countries and regions will arrive. Here, if I'm late, I probably won't even be able to drink the soup. Well said. We are here to cooperate sincerely. We can no longer let other people get involved in the elf resources of the secret realm of Atlantis. On the huge arena where the ancient elves battled, the 18 gym leaders immediately dispersed in all directions. Among the group of people from Sakura Kingdom who came to explore the secret realm of the deep sea, the most eye-catching trainer was sitting behind a Gyarados. Beside him, there were 2 Gyarados escorting him. One person actually bred 3 Gyarados. This trainer, whose face seems to be full of vicissitudes of life, has a sense of calmness and weight that does not suit his age. At this time, in the eyes of countless envious trainers among his colleagues, this trainer and the famous female trainer of Sakura country Lily Sakura left the team together. Professor Koik, Lily Sakura doesn't take you seriously. You have been her teacher for 4 years in college. Now, she doesn't even listen to your words, Yoshio Kazuha couldn't help but say. All her thoughts are focused on that Chinese trainer Yang Yu. What is so good about Yang Yu that makes it worth her doing this? Also, Nozawa Naburo, Lily Sakura's lackey. Enough. Professor Tetsuya Koik, who looked sulky, immediately reached out to stop such a topic that should not continue. Nozawa Naburo, a powerful young trainer who has recently emerged in the Sakura Kingdom. The spirit in his body, after having 2 elite-level Gyarados, once again cultivated a 3rd Gyarados, which instantly caused a huge sensation in the entire Sakura Kingdom. This taciturn young trainer was once deprived of his qualifications as a trainer by the Sakura Kingdom Elf Alliance. At that time, the Sakura Kingdom Elf Alliance was severely criticized by the Prime Minister. In the end, he was canonized as an elite trainer at the Prime Minister's office. During the battle in the secret realm of the Sky City on Mt. Fuji in Sakura country, the giant Gyarados of Yang Yu, a young trainer from China, shocked the world. It caused a strong shock in the entire Sakura country, and even the official TV station of Sakura country broadcast the words "Empire's broken Huailong" are written to praise this extremely powerful Chinese trainer. Because of this, Nozawa Naburo, a local trainer from Sakura country who was able to breed 2 Gyarados and even now has 3 Gyarados, suddenly became the Empire of the Empire in Sakura country. The symbol of the inheritance of Dragon. For this trainer who has an absolutely bright future and is rising among the broken and reborn, the Sakura Kingdom Elf Alliance values Nozawa Naburo and even has an important strategic position. The reason why Nozawa Naburo left with Yuri Sakura was because Nozawa Naburo was a member of Yuri Sakura's side, and it did not cause Koik Tetsuya to have too many other suspicions. Even if he is looking for the Chinese trainer Yang Yu, just in time, Nozawa Naburo can have a more humble apprenticeship and learn the experience of elf cultivation from the powerful trainer. However, what Tetsuya Koik and others did not know was that the rise of Naburo Nozawa had an incredible connection with the Chinese trainer Yang Yu, whom they deeply hated. Everyone should explore the secret realm first. If you encounter a trainer from North America, you must give in respectfully. Koik Tetsuya took a deep breath. This time, whether we can obtain precious elf resources in this mysterious deep-sea secret realm, the attitude of the gym leaders in North America plays a very important role. Yang Yu, the Chinese trainer, is just one person. How can he be compared to the 18 gym leaders in North America? There are a group of Smurfs on the other side of the mountain and the sea. Human trainer, shut up now. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 935. I express my feelings when I feel them, I express my feelings whenever I feel them, so sad, so sad. Darkrai in the shadow space and little Reggie Locke walking on the seafloor burst out loud almost at the same time. This human trainer could easily touch the nerves of these gods of the elven world. If you keep singing like this, the elf world will be destroyed by your own power, okay? Yeah. He stood aside and wiped the sweat from his forehead. In fact, Yang Yu's singing did not have any impact on Dede. He was already used to it anyway, but the loud voices of Reggie Locke and Darkrai still startled Dede. After all, he is the god of the elf world. Yang Xiao even felt a little nostalgic when he heard Yang Yu's lyrics that he didn't know where he learned from and the tune that made him travel thousands of miles away as soon as he heard it. When brother Yang Yu captured Carp King Dada, didn't he just hide in the room and sing to Carp King Dada? Oh, by the way, there are other things that are twinkling and shining, and the sky is full of little stars. Ha ha ha. Cresselia, the dream god beside Yang Xiao, blinked stiffly. No one is perfect. God gave Yang Yu, a human trainer, a strong training ability, and at the same time gave this trainer the nature of being friendly to weak elves, and took away his ability to sing. Isn't this a more realistic human trainer? Cresselia, who figured it out in an instant, secretly sighed in her heart, just don't sing out loud next time. Darkrai felt Cresselia's thoughts and felt a handful of grass in his heart. How the hell can this be explained? Cresselia rolled her eyes. Singing is not pleasant, is it related to the quality of a trainer's mind? Darkrai. Okay, what you said makes sense, right? The speed of sound propagation in the sea is quite impressive, I remember at that time. Yang Yu's voice suddenly got stuck here, and his face even changed slightly. Brother, what was that? What was that? Yang Xiao was very curious about why brother Yang Yu suddenly stopped talking halfway. What happened at that time? The speed of sound propagation in the ocean is very impressive, but what next? Yang Xiao is not like a curious baby, especially in the elf world. This should be regarded as her first adventure in the elf world. Of course, she wants to know more about some of the novel things that Yang Yu has encountered in the elf world before. Reggie Locke, who seemed to have thought of something, also began to flash his orange eyes crazily. The island in the center of the world. It seems that it sank early because of this. Who says the gods in the elf world don't gossip? Darkrai on Yang Yu's side and Cresselia on Yang Xiao's side, the two gods of dreams who still didn't know what was going on, looked at Yang Yu in the shadow space with expectant eyes. Speak quickly, speak quickly, speak quickly, Darkrai couldn't help but urge. Yang Yu. Darkrai, shut up. Xiao Yu, do you know that in this deep sea, the roaring whale king we saw before will be very sensitive to the sound transmitted in the sea? Sometimes, even a very slight sound will be very serious if it spreads out. It's easy to attract their attention. Of course, Yang Yu had to evade the important points and speak lightly. Is it possible to show off to Yang Xiao this great achievement that caused the premature sinking of the central island of the world? Farewell, 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 Yang Yu still wants to have a glorious image in front of Yang Xiao. So, brother, when you were in the sea last year, you attracted the attention of the roaring whale king, right? Yang Xiao had some guesses in his mind. Yang Yu nodded. Wow, brother, this is so cool, Yang Xiao was amazed. You know, the Howling Whale King is the largest elf known in the elf world. The black shadows of the group of Howling Whale Kings we saw before really looked like huge spaceships. In some places, the name of the Howler Whale King is even used as spaceship whale to describe this type of elves, which attracts the Howler Whale King. That's a close contact with the largest elf in the world. Yang Yu couldn't help but twitch the corners of his mouth. Cool. Forget it, let's not talk about the scene like that at that time. It's full of dark history. They must be dusted. Yang Xiao now began to look forward to it inexplicably. He had met the Roaring Whale King before. It would be great if he could meet the Roaring Whale King up close. By the way, if you don't meet him later, see if you can ask brother Yang Yu to see if he can attract the Roaring Whale King to come over. After all, this is so cool. Of course, Yang Yu couldn't figure out Yang Xiao's thoughts. Now they were still walking on the seabed, looking for traces of Manaphi. The Carp King army had not yet reported back any news, and Yang Yu was not in a hurry. It will take a long time to explore this strange deep-sea secret realm. In this world in the deep sea, the more you walk here, the more incredible you can feel the world of elves. Wan Kai's who was always vigilant, searching and exploring in the deep sea with Wu Yuqian. Here, they saw some very mysterious rocky hillsides. On this hillside, there were some incomprehensible runes and symbols. Imprint. After Wu Yuqian used his own high-tech equipment to take photos and keep them, he planned to hand them over to the Secret Realm Research Institute of the Chinese Elf Alliance when he returned, and let them handle the mysterious and weird information, so that he might be able to gain a deeper understanding of this place. There is a mine. Yang Yu is still very caring. There is Carp King accompanying us along the way, Wan Kai's said with a smile. Wu Yuqian didn't think so. I think there should be a lot of Magi carp here. What we saw feels like the original one. In fact, it is estimated that the Magi carp has been changing. It makes sense, Wan Kai's nodded, and then his face gradually became weird. Yukui, do you feel that this kind of environment seems familiar? Have you felt it somewhere before? Wu Yuqian smiled softly and said, National Competition Forest Team Competition. That's right, Wan Kai's nodded repeatedly. I never thought that Carp King could be so awesome in the National Forest Team Competition. Now that I think about it, I still didn't expect that in this deep sea, Yang Yu could actually do it. Use these Carp Kings to turn an unfamiliar venue into Yang Yu's home court. So, any elf in the elf world has the possibility of creating miracles. Even wild elves sometimes need to be treated well. No one knows when and how they will meet again in the future. When it comes to it, maybe that elf will be of great help when we meet again. It all depends on fate. When fate comes, maybe a miracle will happen. Before Wan Kai's finished speaking, suddenly, he saw the expressions of dream-inducing Taper and Gardewar suddenly become serious, and the atmosphere suddenly changed. A moment of condensation. What's going on? What's wrong? Wan Kai's was still talking, but suddenly the atmosphere became like this. What happened? Wu Yuqian's tone suddenly became extremely joyful. Lao Wan, your mouth is so awesome. Wan Kai's Why am I so awesome all of a sudden? At this time, not far in front of Wu Yuqian and Wan Kai's there seemed to be a strange light blue flash, which looked a bit like a jellyfish, but it was definitely not the agate jellyfish known in the elven world. But something very, very small. Could it be? Wan Kai's felt that his throat was a little dry. The mysterious elves in this secret place in the deep sea. Let's go over slowly and take a look. Wu Yuqian suppressed his inner excitement. A mysterious unknown spirit appears in the secret realm. What on earth could it be? Be careful, it might escape. At this moment, a red figure flashed in front of Wu Yuqian and Wan Kai's like lightning, with a swish like a salted fish stabbing. One blow, right on target. Catch, caught. It seems, she's holding it in her mouth. Wu Yuqian's expression was extremely strange. Wan Kai's What kind of elf could this be? Regardless of whether he was holding it or holding it in his mouth, Wan Kai's heartbeat suddenly accelerated. In the secret realm of Atlantis, there are rumors that there is an abyss canyon in the secret realm. Could it be that the most mysterious area is in this abyss canyon in the deep sea? The information we currently have on hand can only help us get here. We have been exploring here for a long time, but apart from the ancient elves fighting battlefield in the deep sea, there is not much else discovered. Maybe we are a little unlucky. Russell and Eisen were walking together as gym leaders. At this time, they looked at each other a few times and sighed. Luck is really mysterious sometimes. Why can't we have some good luck? Keep searching. I can only hope that there will be better discoveries ahead. Eisen spread his hands helplessly. Miff. The elves who have been playing in the deep sea, such as Hakron and Little Dream Demon, are now more powerful than before. No matter where they go, they can at least take care of themselves. Poppy, Poppy. Tijipai waved his hand, and all protection was immediately available. Use a flash spell on Hakron's forehead, and Hakron will immediately turn into a glowing eel, and then give Hakron a 50-cent special effect. In short, there is no way that Hakron, who only wants to eat, can be spoiled. Bola. Quack quack quack. The new members of the Little Elf Agent team, Jigglypuff and the Frog, opened their eyes wide at this time, because right in front of them, a little blue smurf appeared. Bobby. Poppy. Poppy. Call Trainer Yang Yu. Call Trainer Yang Yu. Brother, what kind of elf is this? Is it Nana, the Prince of Kanghai? My son. What? The descendant elf of Monafei, the Prince of the Sea, Fiona. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 936. Oh. A small elf that looks like a small blue pendant, with a red oval-shaped gemstone on its chest, emitting a faint light. Fiona only has a pointed, single, underdeveloped foot, which is closely related to the way Manaphy lays eggs. The head is relatively small compared to the body, and there is a very long ribbon tentacle, which can be hung from the head to the feet. The long hair does not reach the waist, but falls to the heels. The Little Dream Demon's eyes shone with a faint red light in the dim deep sea. The curious Little Dream Demon stretched out his hand and gently poked the belly of this magical blue elf. Bo. I only saw a small bubble spitting out from Fiona's mouth, and in this bubble, there were still little crystal lights. Poppy. Tijipai waved his little hand, he wanted to poke too. Miff. Hakron's two small eyes stared curiously at the little elf in front of her. She had never seen such a mysterious elf in the deep sea when she followed Father Kuai in the secret realm of the East China Sea Dragon Palace. Elf. It looks like. I really want to take a breath. Oh. Brother, this elf looks so magical and beautiful, Yang Xiao exclaimed. Fiona's body seems to have a blue film-like skin, and most of her body is composed of sea water, but the ruby on Fiona's chest and the dark eyes look like elf of the ocean. This elf refers not just to elves, but to a mysterious creature that lives in a mysterious area and has a mysterious color. Yeah. He scratched his head blankly. This little elf seemed a little hungry. Yang Yu, this Fiona seems to be a little hungry. Is there anything I can give it to eat? Reggie Locke stretched out his small fist and tapped it next to Yang Yu's trouser leg. Of course. Needless to say, Yang Yu had already reached out and patted his hat. Soon, a box of energy cubes appeared in his hand. With the improvement of the strength of Yang Yu's elves, the energy cubes are now mainly supplied to the two elves Jigglypuff and Frog, Mimikyu and Frostnake. They do not need energy cubes. Their food is electromagnetic. Popping candies are a much better alternative than energy cubes. Ona. Fiona's dark, watery eyes quickly and generously came to Dudu's face, and she didn't look panicked at all. Brother, it doesn't seem to be afraid of animals, Yang Xiao couldn't help but whisper. At the same time, curious eyes kept resting on this elf Fiona, the descendant of Manaphy, the Prince of the Sea. It's not that it's not afraid of life, but it also has the telepathy ability similar to Manaphy, just like Gardevoir. Through this ability, it can feel the mind of our trainer. If there is no danger, it will look like this. I'm not afraid of life, Yang Yu explained. Wuko, human, do you know this too? Have you and Manaphy met before? Darkrai in the shadow was extremely surprised. Don't you know that I have the power of Wave Guide? Yang Yu retorted directly with the thought. Darkrai. It seems that riding a horse makes sense. The ability of telepathy is similar to the power of wave guides. Darkrai really forgot that humans can use the power of wave guides. Regarding the memories of Manaphy and Fiona, Yang Yu didn't know much, but since Fiona appeared here, Manaphy should not be far from here, right? Ona. Ona Ona. Fiona, who had found the food, immediately swam a little further into the mist of the deep sea. In the low visibility situation, Yang Xiao thought that the elf had swam away so quickly. Brother, aren't we going to chase him? Yang Xiao was shocked. Wait a minute and take a look at the situation. It hasn't gone far yet. Yang Yu can still feel the power of telepathy. Although it is in the deep sea still has its unstoppable power. Just the next second, Yang Yu's expression changed instantly. Because this feeling of telepathy suddenly changes and becomes more numerous. Oh. Ona Ona Ona. Ona. In the deep sea fog with extremely low visibility, a group of red dots appeared in an instant. That was a whole group of Fiona. Brother, brother. So many. Yang Yu was suddenly dumbfounded. Even the core of Regiloc's wisdom felt inexplicably dim at this moment, especially Darkrai and Cresselia in the shadow space. Yi. Roar. Oh. Oh. If you have trypophobia, your scalp must be numb at this moment. Because what appeared in front of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao was not just one or two Fiona, but dozens or even hundreds. The way these Fionas were swarming in, the previous Fiona was like a spy who came to inquire about the situation. When they found that Yang Yu and Yang Xiao seemed to be nice people and gave them food. The spirit of the sea? No. These are clearly refugees from Kanghai. Fionas came uninvited and immediately surrounded Yang Yu's side. Ona Ona Ona. Looking at this group of uninvited Fionas, Regiloc voiced his doubts in a somewhat intelligent voice. What is this Manaphy doing here? How come there are so many Fionas, N.A.? Yang Yu's mouth couldn't help but twitch. What Manaphy can do is, of course, make all kinds of monsters. Otherwise, where did these Fionas come from? Yang Yu didn't know how many Fiona existed in this secret realm, but the question was this Manaphy so capable of giving birth? How many elf eggs does this Fiona need to hatch in such a large number? Yang Yu didn't believe that there were only these Fionas here. He had a vague feeling that this place was just the tip of the iceberg. The Prince of the Sea. It's just like Aquaman, isn't it? What should we do now? The top priority is to find Manaphy. Poppy. On the contrary, Little Dream Demon and Tijipai were not panicked at all, and even felt a little excited after seeing so many Fiona. The Little Dream Demon pointed at these Fionas to Jigglypuff behind him, indicating that Jigglypuff could hold a concert at the bottom of the deep sea and let these mysterious elves cheer for Jigglypuff. Bully. Jigglypuff blinked his big eyes. This suggestion from Little Dream Demon. It seems that it is really tempting to Jigglypuff. In the elf world, there has never been a concert at the bottom of the deep sea. Never. Poppy. Tijipai raised his hands and feet in agreement. What Yang Yu himself doesn't know is that while his mind is still a little messy when facing these Fiona thoughts, his elves have already begun to think about how to cause trouble at the bottom of the deep sea. Bola. Fatty opened his eyes wide and glanced in Yang Yu's direction. When the time comes, let's see what Yang Yu says. Concert in the secret realm of Atlantis. Jigglypuff, you can do it. Fina Fina Fina. Fei 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 Fei. We have successfully found the mysterious elves in the secret realm of Atlantis. Ha ha ha, Eisen, Eisen. Are these elves the ones recorded in the legend? Fiona, the guardian of the secret realm of Atlantis. Russell was in infinite ecstasy at the bottom of the sea. They must be the first trainer to find the mysterious elf, they must be. Did they really have bad luck before? How is it possible? Looking at it now, there are so many mysterious blue elves and so many Fionas. This is obviously the super lucky star, and it is obviously the European Emperor. Russell, will there be so many Fionas appearing at the bottom of the sea at one time? How do I feel that we are being prostituted by these mysterious elves now? Eisen looked a little uncomfortable. He felt as if the energy cubes he had prepared were about to be emptied out. Eisen, what are you afraid of? King Dwight knows that we have found Fiona, and it's not too late to be happy. Isn't it just about the energy cube? This thing is nothing to us. Russell felt that his tolerance is a bit small. Energy cubes are something external to the body. If we can find the most important spirit, Mana Fey, through these Fiona, this is the most important thing. Isn't this Mana Fey a little too fertile? Eisen murmured. How long has it been since the secret realm of Atlantis appeared? At least in the history of the Elf Alliance, it has never appeared before. Isn't it normal for Mana Fey to give birth to more children? Russell didn't care. So many elves, these are legendary elves. If we take a batch of them away and let the breeders cultivate them, this will be an extremely powerful strategic elf resource. It makes sense, but how should we cultivate this Fiona? Go back and ask that woman Hathaway. She is the water gym leader. She may have good experience. Right. There are mines. Even if there are mines at home, we can't afford the food of these elves. These elves, haven't had enough to eat for thousands of years. Wan Kai's, who felt that he was surrounded by his eyelids, were beating crazily. Ona ona ona. Fiona, who was gnawing on energy cubes, heard what Wan Kai's who said and nodded her head like a good baby as if she understood. Wan Kai's who? Do you understand? Wan Kai's who felt thirsty in his throat. Ona. Fiona and the others nodded again. Wu Yuqian. Lao Wan, how come you were right again? Are you using spoilers? But there is one thing to say. This doesn't look like an elf in a secret realm. Instead, it looks a bit like a refugee in a secret realm. Even if Wu is rich, he can't resist so many mouths. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 937. Weak, helpless, and thieves can eat. It doesn't matter what you eat. In addition to the energy cubes, Dede can also make a temporary meal here. If you happen to be outside at this time, it should be lunchtime. Stop and eat at the bottom of the deep sea of the Pacific Ocean. It would be a good experience to have an interesting picnic. The table was set up, the stools were set up, and with the stupidity of a king, he was naturally able to start his own chef show while protecting Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. The magic wall doll has once again become a good helper for Chef Dai. As a tool doll that can not only clean the house, but also master incredible cooking skills, it can help Chef Dai. It is also a happy time. This is a good opportunity to improve the level of your own tools. The magic wall doll feels that his cooking skill points are increasing with a large amount of experience points. If only Gardevoir was around Yang Xiao, it would feel like a undersea-made restaurant, but with the addition of a fat Jengar. Okay, that's okay. However, the most important thing is that everyone can reunite at the bottom of the deep sea and have a different lunch experience, with these Fionas chewing energy cubes around. Well, I'm even hungrier. With Fiona and other refugees from the sea already there, Yang Yu certainly wouldn't treat them favorably and forget about the Carp King's army. Now sending Hakron and Little Dream Demon to console the Carp King's standing guard in this deep sea secret realm, Yang Yu can safely and boldly hand over the energy cube to Hakron. In the past, Yang Yu might have been more cautious. After all, the mini gluttonous dragon would chew its own tail, let alone coconut skins, when it was hungry. The energy cubes were handed over to the mini gluttonous dragon for safekeeping, ensuring that it would keep them. Go into the stomach. Euphemistically called. There's no better place to keep energy cubes than your own belly. Now the energy cube is basically unattractive to Hakran. What is really attractive is the delicious food that Dede makes every time. You don't want to eat grilled chicken legs, do you? Yang Yu felt that he was just about to pick up the carefully made roasted chicken leg and bring it to his mouth, when he felt that there were countless pairs of eyes around him staring directly at him. Don't the energy cubes in your hands smell good? That small piece costs hundreds of elf coins. This grilled chicken leg. If you don't count the price of the purchase, the cost is as low as a few elf coins. Ona. Forget it, what are you talking about with these refugees from the sea? When Yang Yu watched these Fionas take out the half-eaten energy cubes and prepare to return them to Yang Yu, indicating that they wanted to eat roasted chicken legs instead. Yang Yu. Ha 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 ha, hiccup brother, these elves are so interesting. Of course Yang Xiao could see the meaning of these Fiona elves, but for Yang Xiao, who is still underage and has a simple mind, such a scene is certainly very disturbing. It's novelty. Yang Yu was a little helpless. All I can say is that my stupid cooking skills are invincible. Why did you all run out? Where are your homes and your parents? Yang Yu was given this energy cube, so of course he wouldn't be stingy with the roasted chicken legs. But this is a little different from the Fiona I imagined in my mind. It's not that meeting Fiona in the elf world should be a lucky thing, but why? But why does Yang Yu feel a little unlucky? This quantity is too much. Although compared to Mana Fei, who only had one, the number of Fiona was relatively large, but as a legendary elf, such a large number of Fionas still made Yang Yu feel a little panic. This doesn't feel normal. When these Fionas looked at each other for a few times, looking at each other, then two Fionas stood out from the group, holding hands in front of Yang Yu, spinning, dancing, and jumping over. What is this? Yang Yu couldn't help being stunned. Reggie Locke's wisdom core coughed lightly. This is Mana Fei's courtship action. As for the two Mana Fei, one of them should be the one who changed into a strange creature. Wow, so romantic, Yang Xiao couldn't help but exclaimed and clapped her hands. Yang Yu. Fine. This is a different perspective and a different way of looking at things. Yang Yu's vision and thinking are broader than Yang Xiao's. When looking at things, he will add some mature thoughts and ideas. Yang Xiao's understanding of the elf world is still in the curious stage, and his exploration of the elf world has just begun. Xiao said romance, then it is romance. Yang Yu does not intend to use his own thinking to ask Yang Xiao. At least for now, Yang Yu feels that this is good. At least it proves that Xiao has not grown up yet. Brother, did I say something wrong? Yang Xiao glanced at brother Yang Yu suspiciously. No, 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 that's right, that's right. It's indeed quite romantic, Yang Yu could only answer bravely. When Cresselia, the god of dreams, who was in Yang Xiao's shadow space, heard Yang Yu's answer, she couldn't help but stare at Darkrai in the void. Look at this person. At first, Cresselia also felt that it was Manafi's fault that so many Fionas appeared here, and they looked so hungry that they hadn't eaten for a long time. But if you think about it carefully, aren't so many Fiona hatched from the elf eggs of Mana Fei and the variety monster? This alone is enough to make Cresselia envious for a long, long time. The crystallization of love. Cresselia was really envious. In addition to Cresselia thinking about this, Gardevoir on the side was also educating Gengar at this time. If elf eggs are really born in the future, we can't let those little elves suffer from not having enough to eat. After all, Gardevoir has experienced that dark day. How can we let the next generation live such hard days again with the good things we have now? Although the time may still be relatively far away, Gengui should be trained in this matter in advance. GSI. Gengar clasped his hands in front of his belly, looking loyal and honest. Gengar has long been used to making money to support his family, but I hope that day can come later. Sana. Gardewar seemed to feel a trace of disappointment in Gengui's expression, and asked doubtfully. Gengar immediately put away his disappointment and quickly shook his head, pretending that it was a small problem in learning the moves that he had not yet fully mastered. Like Gardewar, De Mailly was also discussing such a matter with the Salted Fish King after seeing so many hungry and panicked Fionas. However, De Mailly and the Salted Fish King discussed, and finally discovered a very serious issue. If this were hatched from an elf egg? Little fish, Magikarp. Suddenly, the topic seemed a little awkward. The Salted Fish King patted his own face with his beard and promised that he would definitely take the future little fish and King Carp to experience the flying feeling of surfing. However, De Mailly feels that a safer approach is still needed. For example, let the Salted Fish King find an outstanding Carp King in the Carp King army, and then go somewhere to carry out the mission of rescuing the ugly fish. It can be male sign S Magikarp who saves female sign S ugly fish, or of course it can be female sign S Magikarp who saves male sign S ugly fish. No matter what, as long as it is King Magikarp who saves the ugly fish. If it's the other way around, that's not unacceptable. Grrrrrrrr. Dudu thought, if King Carp goes to save the ugly fish, he will definitely send one to wait for them when they appear. Slowpoke, Xiao, and Magikarp will also be good friends in the future. I really long for that kind of life. This is a very unique lunch. In front of many Fionas, the elves have their own dreams for the future. As for the little dream demon, the little dream demon hasn't thought about it yet. When the time comes, I will take the little dream monster to patrol the mountains. I will ask for red envelopes in various places. If I don't give the red envelopes, everything will be returned to zero. Ona Ona. The Fionas waved in the direction of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao glanced at each other, and they both saw the joy in their eyes. This is where Fiona wants to take them, to an even more mysterious place in the deep sea. Is this seemingly desolate deep sea secret realm hiding an even more incredible secret behind its ruin-like appearance? For example, the real secret of Atlantis. Let's go. Yang Yu took a deep breath and continued heading into the mist of the deep sea. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 939. It would also be very good if Fiona formed a team like Magikarp's army, so that she can walk sideways on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. The benefit brought by so many Fionas is that Yang Yu and Yang Xiao have a wider space to move freely on the seabed. In the spherical bubble space surrounded by Fiona, it seems to have formed a natural breathing space. In this space, even the air breathed seems to be sweet. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao greedily took deep breaths in this space. This seemed to make every cell in their bodies feel like they were being washed by the natural breath, including Dede, who also opened his arms and used his superpowers. Feel the breath of nature originating from the deep sea. Brother, the air is so fresh, Yang Xiao exclaimed. There were such incredible mysterious elves in the deep sea, which gave her a better understanding of the elven world. This mysterious world, in Yang Xiao's sight, had begun to reveal a small corner. Even though this is just the tip of the iceberg, it is a great progress for Yang Xiao, who has never had such an adventure. It seems that I have underestimated these Fionas. Yang Yu secretly shook his head. These Fionas had been too enthusiastic before, as enthusiastic as refugees from this sea. After eating a full meal, I suddenly felt different. Human, I feel the deep malice in your thoughts. Darkray's voice sounded in Yang Yu's mind. Yang Yu coughed lightly. He really thought of Darkrai just now. After all, when Darkrai first appeared, the Nightmare God lost a lot of his strength just because he didn't have enough food. Being chased and beaten by Gengui Liahe carrying the ghost throne. Ignorant human being, if you think like this again, I will let you experience a real nightmare. Darkrai is wailing in the shadow space. Yang Yu suppressed his laughter and kept his face tight to prevent himself from laughing out loud. Sorry, I couldn't control myself for a while. I'll treat you to dinner later. There's nothing that a meal of stupidly prepared gourmet food can't fix, and if so, then to make a deal. If anyone saw the situation on Yang Yu and Yang Xiao's side at this time, they would definitely be surprised. When the elf Fiona lives in the seabed, she often melts into the seawater, which means that if she melts in the seawater, she will not be easily discovered by other elves. This is a means of protecting oneself, similar to the effect of invisibility. At this time, these Fionas fell into their own invisibility in a whole circle around them. Through the refraction, reflection, and absorption of light, Yang Yu, Yang Xiao and other elves inside this circle were combined. They all became invisible. If it weren't for the fact that Salted Fish King and Little Bao Bao were relatively big, and half of their big tails were exposed at the back of the team, otherwise, it would be completely impossible to discover the secrets here. But then again, looking at it this way, it's quite scary. Two thick tails are swaying in the air, and there is no head, only the tail. Isn't it a supernatural event under the sea? Fortunately, the deep sea is so big that even with the strength of trainers who have gathered all over the world to explore secret realms, coupled with the different directions of exploration and geographical location, very few people will see such a situation. Of course, surprises are not ruled out. Jong, it's a giant octopus bucket. SHH, you can't speak softer, and hold your breath quickly. If this giant octopus barrel discovers us, are we still not allowed to finish playing here? Plop. Plop. In front of this mysterious and terrifying elven figure with a giant twisting tail, the two explorers from the west had horror written all over their faces for a moment. They have never seen such a picture of Thulhu. Could this be the most terrifying mysterious elf in the deep sea secret realm? The supergiant octopus barrel, one of its tentacles seems bigger than the megalodon. It's just a little strange. Why did it look like there were only two tentacles just now? Could it be that I was dazzled? Have you saved the photo of the shadow in the deep sea fog just now? After we go back, we must let our secret realm elf research experts study it carefully. How terrifying is the true appearance of such a giant elf? Stay. It seems that we have saved a small life. This unknown spirit under the sea is really terrifying. Only then did the two explorers realize that their bodies were already covered in cold sweat. Yang Yu didn't know what a terrifying psychological shadow their group had on other explorers. Even if he knew, he was wronged. To be fair, at the bottom of this deep sea, even if it looks like Thulhu from the outside, it might actually be more scary than a giant Gyarados, or even the Salted Fish King, right? Fiona and the others also gave Salty Fish King and Little Bao Bao a hair change. Although the final effect is still very scary, at least the level of terror has been reduced, right? Oh, Una. Fiona stopped. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao looked at each other and began to look forward to it. Looking out from their internal vision, they can see that the surrounding situation is much more vibrant than when they first came to the deep sea secret realm. The deep sea elves appearing here now look a bit like a secret realm. Around the coral reefs, you can see pink and white sun corals taking care of their homes, as if they were cleaning up. Each one was very carefully wiping something on the coral reefs, and occasionally some dust was scattered. Come down. Iron cannon fish, giant winged flying fish, horned goldfish, lobster soldiers, and other various little elves seem to have their own roles in life in this area. In addition to the iron cannon fish, there are also some deep-sea pearl oysters lying on this giant on the huge wings of a flying fish. It's quite a reenactment of the movie Finding Nemo. However, it seems that this is not the true face of the secret realm of Atlantis. These water elves seem to be very familiar with Fiona. After Fiona appeared one by one, they all made way towards the surroundings. However, what made these elves dazed were the two huge elf tails at the end wrapped by Fiona. Male can use her soft body to keep her whole body in Fiona's hiding space. This is too difficult for Salted Fish King and Little Bao Bao. Yeah. The dull eyes of these little elves attracted Dede's attention for a while. Grrrrrrrrr. From among the group of people, Fiona poked her head out blankly. Looking from inside, Yang Yu couldn't help but miss the scene. When Dede came to help King Salted Fish evolve, most of his body came out of the space, and the golden conch cap and body appeared separately. Seeing Dudu suddenly emerge from the invisible Fiona space, these elves were all startled, and instantly swam away, while finding some places to cover them. For example, behind the rocks on the seabed and in the coral reefs, there are small holes on the seabed. Any place where they can hide, no matter what, hide first. What's going on with that iron gunfish? It actually hid in the scallop of the pearl oyster, and its head seems to have been pinched. Yang Yu subconsciously raised his forehead. Yeah. He scratched his head blankly, but he didn't expect that his sudden appearance would scare so many elves, and he felt a little embarrassed for a moment. However, soon, these scattered elves gathered back together. King Dudu, the Sage of the Sea. Who has mastered the power of Wave Guide, has a majestic natural aura, which can deeply attract these elves in the sea. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao, who were in the hidden space, felt as if they were really in an aquarium, surrounded by the attention of groups of elves. It's a bit like the scene where Neptune's divine power awakens. Yang Yu thought to himself. All the elves in the ocean obey its call. Such a feeling makes me laugh just thinking about it. Ona. Just in front of this hollowed-out undersea mountain range, a dazzling mysterious light appeared. Ona. The mysterious door is opened. After Fiona led Yang Yu, Yang Xiao, and the elves into this mysterious door, Salted Fish King and Little Bao Bao twisted their tails. It seems like it's stuck. Under the duller gazes of the underwater elves, the stuck and twisting tail suddenly disappeared into the space with a swish. Yeah. Miff. Bobby. This is. Yang Xiao's pupils shrank, and the light in front of him suddenly became brighter. The real secret of Atlantis. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 940. Dazzling crystals shine dazzlingly in this space, and there are whirlpool holes with twisting spaces. Groups of Fiona appear in an orderly manner on this side of the horizon. This is a hidden world under the sea, but it is like an incredible elf city. All kinds of water elves outside the world can find their traces here. Roaring Whale King, Yang Yu's eyes flashed slightly, and he felt a giant shadow emerging above his head. When he saw the true form of the shadow, he couldn't help but be shocked. No, it's not just the Howling Whale King, but, the Howling Whale King spaceship. Reggie Locke's eyes began to flash rapidly, and the scene in front of him made him remember it in his mind. In this underwater secret realm, the Roaring Whale King seems to be suspended in the sky above these buildings. On the backs of each Roaring Whale King, there are many figures of Fiona and other water elves. Amazing. Yang Xiao opened his mouth wide, and the scene in front of him was full of science fiction, as if he had entered one of those elf movies. Even some elf movies did not dare to shoot the scene here like this. Omega. Booby Mile. The eyes of Little Dream Demon and Tijipai turned into little stars. Such a novel and spectacular picture was a brand new scene that they had never seen before. Ona. The Fionas who brought Yang Yu and Yang Xiao and the elves into the Temple of the Sea lined up in front of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao, as if they were telling them, "Welcome to their home." Yang Yu glanced around, and was inevitably attracted to the tallest spire in the center of the Sea Temple. Looking from the edge of the Sea Temple, there is a towering pagoda in the center of the temple. At the top of the pagoda, there seems to be a huge light group emitting dazzling golden light. Maybe it's a gem, maybe it's the core of energy, but no matter which one it is, it makes the Temple of the Sea shine even more brilliantly. How many Fionas did Mona Fay give birth to? Reggie Locke murmured to himself. Looking around, this little elf with blue eyes really looks like the messy and unpleasant lyrics that Yang Yu sang before. On the other side of the mountain, on the other side of the sea, there is a group of Smurfs. However, this should not be just the number of a group, this number is already beyond Reggie Locke's imagination. By relying solely on his own strength, he created, well, a kingdom. Fiona who created a kingdom. That's not too much to say, right? Yang Yu recalled the questions he had thought about before, and now he was still thinking about them again. In this majestic sea temple in front of us, why are these Fiona, as if they haven't had enough to eat for hundreds of years? Outside the sea temple, in the undersea ruins formed by the mist of the deep sea, did you find traces of Yang Yu and the others? Is it because the number of Fiona elves here is too large, which has led to the lack of resources inside the sea temple, and ultimately, forced you to come outside the temple to find food? Yang Yu gestured. What Yang Yu and Yang Xiao didn't expect was that these Fionas immediately started nodding. What Yang Yu said, there is no problem at all. How capable is this Manaphi? Yang Yu couldn't help but feel frightened in his heart. If you continue to think along Yang Yu's train of thought, the real reason why this mysterious sea temple Atlantis, which comes from the deep sea, appears under the sea in the elven world may actually be. The number of Fionas was so large that some Fionas were unable to obtain enough food in the sea temple. In the end, they had to go from the sea temple to the deep sea of the outside elf world, and were eventually killed by the joint exploration team of the Elf World Alliance. Found out. Yang Yu's idea is just a personal guess, but this guess is really well founded. Ona. One of them, Fiona, was the first one that met Yang Yu before. At this time, she once again waved in the direction of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. It will take us to the core of the Temple of the Sea, which is the towering undersea tower. I think Mona Fay should be in the tower, Reggie Locke said. Yang Xiao didn't think as much as Yang Yu thought. She was the new trainer who was traveling here for the first time. Of course, Yang Yu was also here for the first time. However, in Yang Xiao's eyes, besides wow, the sea temple in front of me is simply a fairy tale world in a dream, a mysterious elven world where a sense of technology coexists. I even want to remember the scene deeply in my mind. G. Sana. Jengar and Gardwar held hands, and as they entered this unknown world, their hands held each other tighter. Gardwar couldn't help but look at Jengar twice. For Jengar, this feeling of traveling between two worlds, the more it feels like this, the more Jengar wants to grab Gardwar's hand. I'm afraid that when that day comes, we will have to say goodbye in this elven world. Holding hands means it lasts a lifetime. Salted Fish King, let's go, don't just sit here in a daze. Yang Yu turned his head and glanced at the Salted Fish King. At this moment, the eyes of the Salted Fish King were staring straight at the top of the central tower of the Temple of the Sea. That spot exuded a magnificent mysterious light energy and pulsed with the vitality of electricity. This electric aura gave the Salted Fish King an inexplicable sense of familiarity. Just like. Where have you felt it? Isn't it because of the powerful energy fluctuations in the center of the tower? The power of electricity is leaping in the light group. Yang Yu lowered his head slightly, and the corners of his mouth twitched. What Yang Yu was thinking was, if the Salted Fish King ate the core energy light group in the center of the tower pillar, wouldn't the sea temple be in chaos? After all, the energy here is not like that of the lightning bird. The lightning bird can also produce electric energy on its own. If the Salted Fish King touches it, it will grow like a leek. But this is an entire sea temple, an entire kingdom of Manaphi. No need to think too much, This energy light group at the core must play a decisive role in the sea temple, and may even maintain a key position in maintaining the survival and operation of the entire temple. Yeah. At this time, Dede held his hands in front of his stomach, and followed Xian to gaze at the mysterious light group that was constantly changing in the tower pillar. The energy in it. There is a faint vitality in that energy. A purple light bulb lit up next to his dull head. I suddenly thought of it. The vitality in this mysterious energy seems to be from the same source as Xianxian's life force. Roar. Two crystal-clear electric grids appeared in the eyes of the salted fish king. Thoughts, starting to remember. Picture after picture at the bottom of the sea flashed through the mind of the salted fish king, and finally, it was frozen in an instant. That is a scene on the deserted seabed. That was the place where the overlord Megalodon was once hunted. In that seabed area, the salted fish king released powerful and pure electric power, bringing life in the lightning to the once barren area. It is this vital force. In an instant, the salted fish king rushed to the top of the sea temple. Roar. Golden light, brilliant. In the temple of the sea, the small group of carp kings that had somehow sneaked in suddenly trembled all over. My king, come. Omega asterisk. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Shao. Chapter 941. The salted fish king said, there must be light. Then, there is light. In the sky above the temple of the sea, this huge blue figure seemed to be lit up with an extremely dazzling lamp. The figure of the salted fish king, at this moment, seemed like a Gyarados totem. Lightning should have been a terrifying force raging between heaven and earth. However, at this time, the extremely huge electric power that appeared on the body of the salted fish king surrounded the body of the salted fish king like a mass of pregnancy. It is full of vitality, as if it is a ball of light that can be broken by a bomb. At this moment, in the temple of the sea, shining and blooming. Yeah. Yi. Dede and Damalai both opened their eyes wide, and in their crystal-clear pupils, they both remembered the shocking scene in front of them in the temple of the sea deeply in their minds. Salted Fish King, what's going on? Yang Yu was completely unprepared. The Salted Fish King suddenly appeared in the sky, causing his thoughts to stop. It happened so suddenly. Resonance of energy, how is this possible? The Temple of the Sea, the core energy of the central tower of the Temple of the Sea, resonates with the life force of the Salted Fish King. What is going on? Regirock suddenly became shocked. It was not agreed that no matter what happened to Yang Yu, as long as it was related to Yang Yu, Regirock would not show shock, but now. In the sky, a golden bridge appeared. The towering pillars of the temple towering into the clouds in front began to condense and connect with the high altitude of the temple where the Salted Fish King was. Brother, look, what is that? Yang Xiao immediately pointed at the light group at the energy core of the tower pillar. From a distance, you can see that in the center of the tower, a circle of blue light like an aurora light curtain instantly opened up around it. This is waves of water. It's Monofei. In the shadow space, Darkrai and Cresselia spoke almost at the same time. They and Monofei had known each other thousands of years ago. This force contained an extremely deep force that seemed to be able to cut through the entire sky. Waves of water. Only the Prince of Kanghai, only Manaphi, only he has such terrifying abilities. Manaphi, the Prince of the Sea. Yang Yu's pupils shrank. This wave of water spread completely from the central tower pillar of the sea temple to the surroundings. That little dot and that blue one appeared from the central venue. The little one. Oh my God! Yang Xiao couldn't help but cover her mouth with her hand. The scene that appeared in front of her eyes instantly changed her heart and her understanding of the elf world. Is this its power? This should have been another ordinary day in the Temple of the Sea. On a daily basis, Mana Fei used the gentle energy provided by the tower pillar in the center of the Temple of the Sea to raise herself and her concubine's ever-changing life crystals, Fiona's elf eggs. For the owner of the Sea Temple, Mana Fei, the Prince of the Sea, the huge energy provided by the tower pillars maintains the normal operation of everything in the entire Sea Temple. Especially, for the descendants of Mana Fei, Fiona. The core energy of the tower pillar is used to accelerate the growth of Fiona's food in the Sea Temple. Whether it is crystal seaweed or other vegetation in the ocean, it can be used as Fiona's food in the Sea Temple. The core energy is not only used to supply the growth of vegetation in the temple, but at the same time, under the light, it is like the sun outside the elven world, which can make the growth of vegetation healthier and make Fiona's food more beneficial to Fiona. The growth of Na. In addition to being used to cultivate food, it is also a kind of life energy used to help the injured Fiona speed up her recovery. In the Temple of the Sea, Fiona would also be injured due to various factors. To restore physical strength and recover from injuries, countless Fionas need this core energy to help them regulate their own health. The most important thing is that Fiona, who is in the elf egg stage, can successfully break out of the elf egg and raise generations of heirs, all of which require the assistance of the tower pillar energy core. The core energy light group of the tower pillar, like the sun that never sets, helps Mana Fei nurture generations of Fiona while maintaining the normal order of the Sea Temple. Until the last 100 years or so, things have been a little off. The core energy of the tower pillars comes from the sea, which is the cradle of life. As the ocean pollution in the outside world becomes more and more serious, the energy in the core of the tower has declined dimly in the past 100 years. Whether it is the wars that have occurred in the elf world or the rise of elf cities, the exploration of the ocean and the request for ocean elf resources have caused unpredictable impacts on the sea, the cradle of life. Even in the elven world, human society has gradually realized how important it is to protect nature, especially forests, oceans, etc., and has begun to protect the oceans. However, due to the accumulation in the past few decades, the depths of the oceans have become the well-known mysterious area has suffered an irreversible decline. The Temple of the Sea, the core of all operations, has an energy core derived from the life force of the ocean. Due to the pollution accumulated in the sea for many years, the energy has declined. If the sun never sets, it will eventually become dim. The decline in energy meant that the Temple of the Sea, which could supply Fiona and even excess seafloor vegetation, gradually began to become unable to fully satisfy her needs. The decline in energy means that if the Temple of the Sea cuts off the auxiliary cultivation of Fiona's elf eggs, then the next generation of Fiona will most likely not be born, or even be born with an elf with defects after birth. The decline of energy means that the once normal operation of the Sea Temple will become uncontrollable. For Mana Fei, the owner of the Sea Temple, this will be another crisis for the temple in the past few thousand years. Mana Fei had to choose to join the world. At the bottom of the deep sea, there is no way to solve the problem of the decline of the core energy of the tower pillars. We must enter the elven world to find the vitality that can help the core energy to recover. Even if it can delay the decline, Mana Fei has to choose accession to the WDO. Fortunately, at the bottom of the sea, he found a source of life that could help the core energy of the Sea Temple's pillars gradually recover. This place is very mysterious. Close to the central island of the world, and even here, there are faint traces of a thrilling underwater elves war. Mana Fei doesn't care about these things. What he wants is to use the vitality here to restore the normal operation of the Sea Temple and avoid the crisis of the survival of the elves in the temple. Unexpectedly and smoothly, the possible elven survival crisis that may arise in the Sea Temple in the future was solved. This made Mana Fei very excited, and she and her beloved concubine Variety Monster gave birth to a few more elven eggs. Judging by the time, a batch of Fiona should be born from the elf eggs today. However, things were beyond Mana Fei's imagination. The energy core of the tower pillar resonated in the Temple of the Sea. At this moment, Manafia looked at the giant Gyarados bathed in vitality in the sky with extremely shocked eyes. It turns out that the hope of life bred under the sea is its blessing.